Gavin Southwell has the kind of resume that reads like a case study in modern business leadership. He grew up in a working-class community in northern England, moved to London to begin his career in investment banking and insurance, and went on to build global businesses at the intersection of technology, regulation and financial risk. Over the years, he held senior leadership roles on both sides of the Atlantic, helped scale one of the world's largest insurance operations, and eventually led what Fortune ranked as the #1 fastest-growing public company from 2017 to 2019. A defining moment in my life occurred when I realized there are more important things than money, that bad things happen, and it's how you react to that darkness which will define you, Southwell said. After the loss of my son, I led Fortune's #1 fastest-growing publicly traded company, and it was a business that was doing a good thing in helping the most vulnerable in our society. I'm proud of that. That tension between ambition and meaning defines Southwell's story. He helped lead a company that outpaced Amazon and Facebook on Fortune's growth index. He rang the NASDAQ bell twice. He later led an insurtech firm valued at $2.2 billion, backed by a $30 billion private equity fund. But his story is not about scale alone. It is about what success came to mean after life interrupted it. To understand that shift, it helps to return to the early years in London, where Southwell found mentors who shaped his approach to leadership. Among them was Andrew Beasley, a towering figure in the insurance market who gave him an early opportunity and a lesson that stayed with him. Build on your strengths rather than obsess over your weaknesses. Southwell carried that mindset into his next role. As COO of a firm that would become the largest privately owned insurance broker in the world, he helped lead a period of rapid global growth. The company earned London Broker of the Year, completed one of the largest wholesale insurance deals following the acquisition of a major U.S. broker, and managed what was then the largest insurance contract globally. The pace was relentless. Southwell lived on flights, working across markets, teams and time zones. In many ways, he was building the life ambitious executives are told to want. Then everything changed. Gavin Southwell had spent nearly 2 decades building a career in investment banking and insurance technology when his life changed in a way no professional success could ever prepare him for when his son died. Southwell does not linger on the details. He speaks about it plainly, without theatrics, but with a clarity that carries weight. When bad things happen, I look at the stats, because that's what I do, Southwell said. For parents who have to deal with the death of a child, the numbers are bleak. Most families never recover. Men especially end up with substance abuse issues and long-term mental health challenges. I knew the data, I understood how this usually ends. What followed was not a clean narrative of recovery. It was grief, time, and a gradual shift in how he saw everything, including his work. In the months and years that followed, Southwell focused on raising money for charities supporting families facing similar loss. He stayed active, organizing and completing cycling events across the UK, channeling that energy into something that could help others. Then came an opportunity in the United States, one that would reshape the next chapter of his career. After nearly 20 years in financial services and insurance technology in London, Southwell moved into health and life insurance technology, a sector he immediately recognized as both complex and deeply broken. I had the chance to work in technology for health and life insurance in the US, and as that business grew, we helped millions of Americans protect themselves and their families, most for the first time, he said. In a system where healthcare is so expensive, there are huge gaps. If you can use technology to solve that, it's not just a business opportunity, it's something that actually matters. By the time Gavin Southwell reached the peak of his career, he had built a reputation for operating at scale. What ultimately defined his leadership, however, was not how fast the company grew, but how it performed under pressure. At its height, the business he led became a dominant force in the market, not just for its growth, but for how it operated. It expanded rapidly while maintaining one of the lowest complaint rates in the industry, a distinction Southwell still points to with pride. We had outperformed everyone, Apple, Amazon, Facebook, and we were #1, Southwell said. But what mattered to me was that we had done it the right way. We had the lowest complaints in the industry, and that told me the business was working the way it should. That standard did not change when the environment around the company became more complex. As visibility grew, so did scrutiny. Southwell describes that period as one marked by pressure, but also by clarity. There was a lot of noise, a lot of pressure, he said. But I knew how the business had been built. I knew what we had done, and I knew we had helped a lot of people. That gives you a level of clarity you can't really fake. The experience reinforced a principle that now sits at the core of his leadership philosophy: performance is easy to measure when conditions are favorable. Character is revealed when they are not. You have to know what you stand for, Southwell said. And once you know that, you have to stay there, even when it's uncomfortable. For Southwell, that conviction is non-negotiable. Even though Gavin Southwell has achieved great success in life, he likes to turn the spotlight on others. At one of his companies, the business created thousands of jobs and trained blue-collar workers to become licensed insurance agents, many entering the professional workforce for the first time. The company itself stood out for its composition, roughly 70% female and about 75% minorities, a reflection of who the work was designed to serve. Every year, top performers earned a trip to the Bahamas. It was during one of those trips that a conversation stayed with him. I remember one of the agents telling me how she had been able to move out of her mother's house with her 2 kids for the first time, Southwell said. She was able to buy proper birthday gifts for her children. She had been taking swimming lessons so she could swim with dolphins. The trip was a dream come true because she had family on the island she had never met. What struck him was not just the personal milestone, but how it had been made possible. All of that came from the fact that she spent her days helping people like her access healthcare for the first time, he said. In a system that's broken in a lot of ways, where people simply can't access care and have bad outcomes, she was part of something that changed that. Those moments gave the business a different kind of meaning. Southwell kept a folder on his desk filled with emails and letters from individuals who, through the company's platform, were able to access healthcare coverage that may have otherwise been out of reach. There were tens of thousands of lives being helped each year, he said. It still amazes me how many people we were able to reach and what that meant for them and their families. There were quieter moments, too, the kind that rarely make it into boardroom discussions. At a birthday party for the child of one of his team members, the employee's father, who was seriously ill and later died, stood up and thanked Southwell for believing in his son, for helping him build a career, buy a home, and create a life for his family. I'd never had something like that happen before, Southwell said. Not many people stop and say thank you when you help them progress in their careers. It meant a lot at the time. Leadership, in Southwell's view, is not defined by whether every outcome is clean or every relationship holds. It is defined by what you build, who you impact, and whether the work creates something that lasts beyond you. Looking back now, Southwell would tell his younger self something simple: there are highs and lows in life. Just be brave and do your best. That will be enough.